Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is DESZREN. Most people call me Des. Feel free to call me whichever. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Today I'm going to be doing my boyfriend's very first retwist. You already know I'm using my Napstar Super Hold Retwist Gel, my homemade rose water, and I'm using Essential Loc Company's moisturizing lock oil. Now first things first, you want to make sure that the hair is damp. I don't like to work on completely soaking wet hair simply because the gel that I use is best on damp to dry hair. And I'm going to seal in that moisture with the moisturizing oil. I like to take a little bit of the gel on my comb while I'm parting just so the hairs stay out of the way. I do like to part the entire row before I actually go in with my retwist. This is just the most efficient way for me to do my retwist, and I just stick to it. When it comes to retwisting starter locks, there's definitely a method because you are training the hair to stay in a locked formation. Now, depending on the length of the hair, you might have to use more clips. You might have to place the clips going down the entire length of the lock. It really just depends. Because his hair is shorter, I don't have to clip his hair down the entire length of the lock or really clip in multiple places, which is nice and kind of convenient. But just be mindful if you are retwisting your own starter locks or someone else's, you might have to clip down the lock. Wherever it is unraveling, you want to clip that down. I've noticed with longer starter locks, they tend to unravel in multiple different places down the length of the lock, so just be mindful of that when it comes to clip placement. For starter locks, I usually do a comb retwist. For mature locks, you don't really need to because it's very easy to palm roll. But like I was saying before, you want to train the hair to stay in that cylinder shape. So for me, doing a comb retwist is the most efficient way, especially because I can cultivate the entire lock how you saw just now. You want to make sure that your clip placement for your very first row is solid because the locks above are going to be clipped down to that row. So you want to think ahead when you're doing starter locks, or if you're going to be styling hair, you know, which direction to retwist, so many different things, because it's important. You don't want your retwist obviously to unravel or to be loose. You want it to be taut, not tight, but you want it to be taut enough where your retwist is actually going to hold. So for these following rows, you'll notice that I'm not clipping the locks individually because his hair gets longer as you get to the top of his head, which means that I can actually clip those locks down to the row below them, just like that. It makes the retwist nice and neat and taut, not tight, and that's what you want. I've noticed that when I'm able to clip the locks to the row that is below, it just holds the retwist so much better than clipping the locks individually. Now, depending on the length of the hair, you might have to clip individually, and that's perfectly fine. Another plus side to being able to clip the locks down to the previous row is that you can clip multiple locks together instead of individually. So that means less clips and a more faster and efficient retwist. I've said this many times in my other videos, but for those that are new to learning about locks and lock maintenance, you want to make sure that you are retwisting the hair in the same direction that the locks were started. It doesn't matter how your locks were started, whether it was clockwise or counterclockwise. What matters is your maintenance and the direction that you retwist in the future. So I started his locks. Any locks that I start, I always do them clockwise. It is the most common way to start and maintain locks. So if you're going to a loctician and you know which direction your hair is retwisted in, and you want to just make sure that they are following that direction, just let them know. Or especially if you have locks that were started going counterclockwise. It's really not something that you come across very often. At least I haven't come across it very often. But let your loctician or whoever is doing your hair know which direction your hair is retwisted in. It's also really important to ask your clients or whoever you're working with if they want a middle part or not. And Devin said no, he did not want a middle part, so I'm retwisting the front ones going down in his face because that is what he wanted. And also sometimes with the second row, I am able to also retwist those going downwards as well, so I will try to do that if I can. But just make sure you're asking your client, or if you are the client, you are letting your loctician know that you want certain locks retwisted in a certain direction. To set his hair, I am going to be using the BB foam wrapping lotion. I love this stuff. It gives a great hold and it smells really good too. I don't think it's necessary to apply the foam to the entire head of hair. I like to focus just on the top because that's the part that gets frizziest the fastest, and you want to maintain your retwist for as long as you can or as long as you would like. I use about 3 of the black rapid strips just because my dryer gets really hot and I do not feel like burning my man. So these are his results after sitting under the dryer for probably about a half hour, maybe a little bit more than that. Y'all, the results speak for themselves. The crispiness, the clean parts. Like, this retwist is popping. This is his first retwist and you can already see some of the buds. So super excited about that. This retwist was back in July, so it's been a while. I know I'm slacking, y'all, but I'm trying to get it together. Please let me know if you want to see any more content with Devin and his lock journey. I would love to create a playlist just like I did with Dre's lock journey. So comment down below and let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all next time. Bye, guys.